A closet only breathes when something inside is trying to stay quiet. Emergency broadcast system. District Safety Network alert. This message is being transmitted on behalf of the County Public Safety and Domestic Welfare Division, at the request of the North Elridge Unified School District and local emergency services. All households are advised to stay indoors, remain calm, and listen closely. This is not a test. As of 9:17 p.m. this evening, a series of unusual auditory disturbances have been reported throughout the greater North Elridge region. These disturbances began with low-volume rhythmic sounds resembling human breathing. The breathing has been consistently described as soft, continuous, and emanating from within bedroom closets. In every verified case, residents initially assumed the sounds were caused by household infrastructure, HVAC systems, air pressure, or trapped pets. However, upon inspection, these closets were found to be empty. Or rather, they should have been. The interiors appeared clean, devoid of dust, of clothing, of boxes, completely sterile, as if the closet had been wiped clean from the inside. One resident described it as feeling newly built, though the house was over 70 years old. Others reported a strange temperature drop, or the sensation of being pulled forward even when standing still. But the most consistent detail, the one no one could explain, was the breathing. It starts slow. Shallow inhales, long dragging exhales, the kind of breath you don't hear unless you're in bed beside someone. But these homes, they were empty. The sound wasn't coming from behind the walls, it wasn't in the attic, it wasn't coming from outside. It was coming from inside the closet, centered and close. Always close. Audio engineers dispatched to analyze the recordings confirmed that the sound is unmistakably human breathing. However, abnormalities in rhythm, length, and resonance suggest that it is mimicked, not natural. The breathing contains layered harmonics, low-frequency pulses that seem to form a crude pattern. Not words, not quite, but a cadence, a learned imitation. And it's getting better. Some residents reported hearing the breathing change once they began speaking near the door. One woman told emergency services, she whispered, "Is someone there?" The breathing paused, then continued, but faster. She said it began to match her own. When she breathed in, it breathed in. When she held her breath, it waited. Her call disconnected. Officers dispatched to her location found the front door wide open. The house was empty. Her closet, stripped clean of drywall, now extends back nearly 15 feet. No sign of her has been recovered. In one of the earlier cases, a man attempted to photograph the inside of his closet using a flash. What developed was not the interior. It was a photo of him standing in front of the door, from the perspective of something inside the closet watching him. His hands were not on the phone. We believe the entity or entities have an acute auditory sensitivity. They are listening. They are learning. Every breath you take near the closet may be heard. Every word may be stored. In households with children, the activity is more severe. Several children have reported a person sleeping in the closet. One child described it as a copy of me but tired. In another instance, a boy told his parents, "It's learning how to snore like Dad." His father never snored. The following morning, both beds were found empty. The only sound in the house was breathing, coming from every closet door at once. We have determined that conventional physical barriers do not deter the phenomenon. Attempts to barricade the closets have failed. In one recorded attempt, nailing the door shut only caused the breathing to grow louder, deeper, as if straining against wood and nails. In another case, after sealing the closet with industrial foam, residents reported hearing the breath inside their walls. When they began tearing it open, they found it had already moved into the space behind the mirror. Do not attempt to relocate. The phenomenon has been reported to follow certain individuals even after moving homes, suggesting a parasitic bond formed once auditory mimicry is achieved. If it learns the rhythm of your breath, you may no longer be alone, even in an empty room. At this stage, the breathing is believed to be a prelude, a waiting phase, a mimicry period. It watches, it listens, it breathes with you until it can do more. Do not engage, do not knock, do not speak through the closet door. If you believe you are hearing breathing from within your closet, follow these emergency measures. Evacuate the room slowly without speaking. Do not break eye contact with the closet door. Do not hold your breath. It notices the silence. Do not close the door behind you. It prefers closed spaces. Under no circumstances should you attempt to investigate the source. We now believe that the entity replaces rather than attacks. It studies the resident's breathing, syncing with it until its presence feels natural. Once complete mimicry is achieved, individuals report feeling off or lightheaded, often citing a delay in their own breath, like their body isn't the one in control anymore. Some have blacked out, waking hours later with no memories, but footage shows them walking to the closet on their own. This may be the final phase. Once it breathes with you, it can breathe as you. You will wake up in the closet, and something else will be wearing your skin. This concludes the emergency broadcast. Remain where you are. Do not check the closet. Do not acknowledge the breathing, and if it ever stops, it means it no longer needs to pretend.